She was not like the others. Before the races, before the wagers, before the men who came to claim her, there was already a warning spoken over her life. Atalanta would be unmatched, and because of that, she would be undone. She was left to die as an infant, abandoned on a mountainside, as if the world itself had rejected her before she could take her first breath. But fate is not so easily denied. A bear found her, nursed her, guarded her, raised her in the wild where no walls could contain her and no hands could shape her. By the time she became a woman, she belonged to no one. She ran with hunters, lived among danger, and moved faster than anything that chased her. Her feet were certainty. Her body answered to no command but survival. And in that freedom, she became something the world did not know how to accept. Men began to hear of her, a woman who could outrun them, a woman who refused them, a woman who could not be caught. But refusal, especially from someone like her, does not end desire, it sharpens it. And soon, her name became more than a story. It became a challenge. Suitors came, not with love, but with pride. They demanded her hand, they demanded her submission. They demanded that she step into a life she had never chosen. So Atalanta made a condition. If any man wished to marry her, he would have to race her. If he lost, he would die. It was not cruelty, it was protection, the only language the world seemed to understand. And one by one, they came, and one by one, they lost. She ran as she always had, untouched, unchallenged, absolute. The distance between her and every man who tried was not measured in steps, but in inevitability. They could not catch her. They could not even come close. And for every defeat, there was a consequence. Death followed her victories, but she did not stop, because stopping meant surrendering to a fate she had already rejected. So she kept running, and she kept winning, until the day someone came who did not intend to outrun her. Hippomenes. He saw what the others did not. This was not a race of strength. It was a race against something deeper. And so before he ever stood beside her at the starting line, he turned not to his body, but to the unseen forces that shape outcomes long before they unfold. He prayed, and something answered. He was given 3 golden apples. Simple, beautiful, impossible to ignore. The race began as all the others had. Atalanta surged forward, effortless, precise, already certain of the ending. She had done this too many times to doubt it. Victory was no longer something she chased. It was something that belonged to her. Behind her, Hippomenes followed, not faster, not stronger, but patient, waiting. Then, at the moment her lead was unquestionable, he threw the first apple. It struck the ground with a quiet brilliance, rolling just enough, gleaming just enough to disrupt the rhythm of inevitability. Atalanta saw it, and for the first time in all her races, she hesitated. Just for a moment, but a moment was all it took. She reached for it, not out of need, not out of greed, but something subtler, something that had never been tested in her before. Curiosity, distraction, a break in perfection. By the time she resumed, the distance had shifted, slightly. But fate does not require much. She caught up again, of course. She always did. Her body remembered what it meant to be untouchable. Her feet corrected the error. She was winning. She would always win. Until the second apple fell. Again, that shimmer. Again, that interruption. And again, she chose to break stride. This time, the delay was longer, not because she needed to stop, but because something inside her was beginning to change. Victory had always been clean. Now it was complicated. Now it asked for attention, for decision, for awareness of something beyond the race itself. And that was enough. By the time she surged forward again, the gap had narrowed further. Still, she was faster. Still, she was Atalanta. And for a brief moment, it seemed even this would not be enough to stop her. She would correct it. She would finish it. She would remain undefeated. Until the final apple. He threw it not behind her, but far to the side. Far enough that ignoring it would mean certainty, but chasing it would mean risk. And in that single instant, everything she had built her life on stood against something new. Not speed, not strength, but choice. She turned. Just enough, just long enough. And when she ran again, it was too late. For the first time in her life, Atalanta crossed the finish line second. No fall, no injury, no weakness, just a single, irreversible outcome. She had lost. And with that loss, the condition she had created bound her. She became his. Not because he was faster, but because victory had been interrupted, because perfection had been broken, because something as small as a moment had been enough. She, who had never been caught, was no longer free. And that is how it happened. Not through force, not through failure, but through the quiet betrayal of the one thing she had always trusted: victory itself.